Hi everyone, good morning to batch 3 of Sun Connect Ignite. This morning we have with us Neha Sarthak. She has a PhD in aerospace engineering from the US, Texas A&M University. And the most exciting part is that Neha has a startup that plans to send 200 satellites up. Neha, good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning, Radhika.
What made you think about sending satellites up? I know you have a PhD in aerospace, but you could have found job and worked at NASA, or come back and worked at a safe job. But why send? It's not like your everyday. Let me get up in the morning, send satellites up. Is not that quite easy.
Right. So I think dreams start early. That's what I believe. So when I was a kid, I used to love space. Space was just one thing I wanted to, devote my life to. And I was I'm actually from a small town in Rajasthan. So I knew while growing up what kind of things I was lagging in terms of being able to reach out to the world, being connected with the world, having access to information. Even having access to information like where should I do an aerospace engineering course. So all of this really made me think that okay, I want to do something for the developing world, and especially for people like me who are growing up in small towns. And secondly, I didn't want to, of course, let go my love of space.
Excuse me.
Bless you. So what I came up with was I want to work on a space business that is going to change lives in developing countries. And that's why we were evaluating, me and my co-founder Prasad, we were evaluating various ideas that we wanted to execute in terms of using space tech for solving problems in developing world. Internet is something that really popped up because of the cost economics. So 20 years ago, probably it was much more expensive to send satellite up, mainly because the capacity that you were getting, from each satellite was something like 1 Mbps. So you're spending like, probably millions of dollars to just get 1 Mbps connectivity. Whereas in today's world, because of the advancement in technology and also because of what Astrom is doing, my company Astrom is doing, you can make the unit economics work even better than ground infrastructure for rural and semi-urban areas.
So who is your competition? I mean, you keep hearing about Tesla, Elon Musk wanting to send satellites up. Jeff Bezos may very soon want to do something in this space. So there's some interesting big names, and you're playing with all the big names, right?
Of course.
So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it's almost like a validation. That's how I see it. Because it's like, it's like the whole world is saying this is the right time to use space technology to deliver internet, first of all. Because not people like Boeing and SpaceX and OneWeb, all of these people will not be spending billions of dollars to achieve this if it was not viable, first of all. So that is the validation part. But the second part, when it comes to competition, what we see is that in the developing world, the internet, demand is only growing, and it's growing at such fast, pace that none of the space companies will be able to, fully saturate that market. Neither will the ground infrastructure be able to do that. So we see our competition to be people who will make space internet more popular, will make it more mainstream, for people to install, antennas on their rooftop and get internet, just like DTH television. The third thing is, how do we differentiate ourselves? These are, big companies with a lot of money, and we are a small startup. So how we differentiate ourselves is we are very focused on developing the technology. So technology which can actually make the unit economics 10 times cheaper. So that's basically the USP that we are bringing in, and with that, with that strength, we want to go forward and make it, more realizable.
So you had said that today the space economics is not necessarily viable because you get 1 Mbps, right? looking at? And
Yeah.
is that 10x, 100x?
Yeah. So 1 Mbps was something that was there 20 years ago. 1 to 10 Mbps, something when constellations like Iridium were coming up, Teledesic. Today the economics is per satellite, and I'm talking about microsatellites or little larger than that. Those. So per transponder you can get, or you are expected to get something like 8 Gbps, whereas my company Astro wants to achieve 100 Gbps.
100 Gbps.
Yes, which
Wow.
is 12 times.
Okay, great. So let me go back to your background in Rajasthan, right? This is not stereotype, but I think it's more typical, from what I understand, is that women are not really educated, or even if educated, there is this go get married, right?
Yes,
And,
yes, of course.
let's go find you a good boy, get married.
Yeah.
And here you've blown all of that away. How does your family feel about it? How does the rest of the community feel about it? And I think obviously today there must be a lot of sense of pride, but I'm sure you've had a journey to get to convincing them.
Yes, of course,
Right, yeah.
of course. So I think one thing that was good was my parents were very supportive, and they are still very supportive. My dad is a lawyer, and my mom is a housewife, but she did her MSc in science, and she always had this desire to pursue her own career. For whatever reason, in her time, it was not possible for her to become a doctor. But she always wanted her daughters to kind of focus on career. And my dad was super supportive, because he was the one who used to drive us for giving competitive exams and take us everywhere. I remember my first internship here. So we were three of us who came to Bangalore for an internship at LRD. So two of my guy friends, they just came by themselves, just came in the train. And my dad took all the trouble to come with me, drop me here, go back. So you can imagine what kind of devotion he had. So I think parents are really a big factor in making that happen. And then of course community has Rajasthani community is predominantly a business community. So it's not just about girls getting married, but even guys. When you're 21, 22, okay, you've done BCom, go get married and settle your family. But things are changing at a very fast rate. So even when I go back to Rajasthan these days, there are my neighbors' kids, they're coming and asking me, which school should I send my daughter to, and they're really serious about their daughter's careers. So things have changed quite a bit in the last 10 years.
And I'm sure you're definitely a role model, and I hope the community is leveraging that, because I think for young girls today, it's important for them to say, aha, there is someone who is a space scientist. Because when I have gone and spoken to a lot of youngsters, both boys and girls, the dream career is of being a space scientist, right? And you have got you have made that mark on becoming a space scientist. You had opportunities in the US.
Yes.
You were working with startups, but then you decided to give it all up and come here to Bangalore to start your own company, right? What made you make that shift? Because that needs, and for what you're trying to do, there's a lot of money that you need to be backed by. What made you make that shift? How do you feel about what you're doing today?
So it was a tough decision. It was by no means an easy decision. That's what I could say. So first of all, I want to say that yes, it is glamorous to be an aerospace engineer or whatever, but it's a lot of hard work. So it's not enough to just, and that's a message I want to give. You should be ready to do a lot of hard work, throughout. First of all, the second question that you asked was, when was that decisive moment that happened for me? So I was, part-time doing 2 startups when I was in US pursuing PhD, and then later postdoc. For a year and a half, I worked with Air Force Research Lab. The thing that I realized was that I was not cut out for jobs, and I loved business and I loved space. I had the choice of staying in the US and being an entrepreneur, going through that grill, getting my green card, doing all of that. But the shift came in May 2014 when I went to a conference in LA. This was a space conference, and I was expecting to meet all these startups and stuff, companies, space companies, and suddenly I see big groups of Indian kids participating in competitions, and they're like 10th standard, 12th standard, and I'm like, oh my god, first I feel they are so lucky.
Correct.
They could come here and do this.
That's right.
And the second thing I felt was, oh my god, there is so much excitement in people, about space. And then I thought, oh my god, when I was growing up, I just didn't have any space company to look up to. I didn't, if I wanted to make a career in aerospace, how will I do that? I mean, there was hardly any opportunities except ISRO, which has done a tremendous job. ISRO I really, really respect. But not everybody can go to ISRO, right? And that's where I thought, oh my god, the talent lies there, the excitement lies there, and I can be a full-time entrepreneur when I'm in India. So I just decided, okay, fine, I'm going to. So I just went and told my supervisor that he was going to give me a 3-year tenure sort of job or something like that, and I said, no, I'm going back. So, but the next 6 months were tough because you would think, oh my god, have I taken the right decision? What's going to happen? But then I think today I'm glad I took that.
So, what are your next, dreams right now? In the next couple of years, what are you looking at doing?
What we are looking to do is build a phenomenal space technology company, which is a place where people want to go and work. Secondly, that creates value for the society, leverages space technology in the right way, solves a problem in a profitable manner. Of course, profits are important. Let's be honest about that. We want to be known as an international company who's come out of India and who's successful.
Great. So wonderful having you here, Neha, and we're very proud that you're part of Sounder Connect, and I hope you've had a good couple of days in the workshops and mentoring sessions that we plan to have.
We've had a wonderful time. Thank you so much, Latika, for having me here. I should just thank you.
Excellent. We are very happy, and we like I told you yesterday, we want to be there as part of the launch of your first satellite.
Great. Yes, you're invited.
Yes, so normally you pop a bottle of champagne after a balloon ride. We'll pop a bottle of champagne after
the rocket goes up.
So yeah, satellite launch.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. This was Dr. Neha Satak. She is the founder of Astrome, which is looking to send 200 satellites up for providing internet connectivity in rural and semi-urban cities. Thanks.